Opta's cold clinical math has just dropped a bombshell over Santiago Bernabéu. Real Madrid, the club built on European nights and last-gasp legends, is being given only a sliver of a shot to lift a 16th Champions League trophy. And that number alone forces a painfully honest conversation about where the team stands today. The shock doesn't come out of nowhere. It sits on top of a messy season that included a 5-1 aggregate defeat to Arsenal in the Champions League and surrendering domestic honours to Barcelona, moments that stripped away any complacency and exposed structural problems. When a supercomputer weighs squad depth, injuries, form and managerial stability and then spits out 5.8%, it isn't just forecasting a probability, it's shining a harsh light on transfers gone wrong, ageing profiles, and a leadership reset that has real consequences for fans and executives alike. Into that vacuum walks Xabi Alonso, the club's new coach, whose name alone carries nostalgia and expectation. He arrives with a reputation for tactical clarity built in Germany and whispers of modern training methods. But reputation does not equal a guarantee. Alonso must quickly translate ideas into results, coax form from big-name stars like the attacking trio, and rebuild a midfield balance that can compete with Europe's elite. The tactical checklist is long. Tighter defensive structure to stop set-piece vulnerability and counter-pressing lapses, midfield rhythms that protect the backline while supplying the attack, and a ruthless evaluation of personnel who fits Alonso's system, who stalls it, and which arrivals in the transfer window are non-negotiable. Equally important are the human factors, restoring confidence after heavy defeats, managing a public whose patience thinned after domestic cups slipped away, and aligning club hierarchy around a coherent timeline for recovery. Opta's numbers also tell a story of competition getting fiercer. English clubs, Barcelona and PSG all sit with higher model chances, signalling that Madrid are no longer the default favourite in Europe. They must earn respect again. That means every tactical tweak, every training ground drill, and every summer signing becomes magnified. A single inspired midfield pivot or a defender returning to form can move forecasts dramatically, while another injury or an ill-fitting signing could push Madrid further into underdog territory. For Alonso, short-term wins will be measured in restored defensive solidity and clearer identity on the pitch. Medium-term progress will be judged by progress in the Champions League group stage and knockout resilience. Long-term success will be whether he re-establishes Madrid as an institution that shapes Europe rather than reacts to it. The narrative fans will follow is compelling. Can a legendary midfielder turned coach reignite a club machine that looks vulnerable on paper but massive in potential? And beyond club loyalty, this season is a referendum on elite football's balance. If Madrid fail to respond, the power centre of Europe shifts more decisively toward England and Paris. If they roar back, Alonso's project becomes a case study in swift institutional recovery. This is not a melodramatic headline, it's a tracking beam on decisions that will be made from the dressing room to the boardroom. The next 3 months will offer a clearer answer. Tactical fixes, transfer windows, and the mental reset will either repair the damage Opta quantified, or they will confirm a deeper rebuild is necessary. For viewers, every Madrid match this season won't be just a game. It will be a pulse check on whether a footballing giant can rewrite the odds, and that suspense, born from hard data and raw emotion, is what will keep millions watching until the final whistle.